Hello. The title of this podcast is What Would It Be Like If Your Mind Wasn't Bothering You All Day? Well, let me tell you, it would be amazing. It'd be completely peaceful. Nothing bothers you. Like if you have one problem, you don't make it into two. Like whatever the event is or what is occurring, and then what your mind tells you about it. That's problem number two. That's what you would be free of. It's like me doing the summer, the old Keith 1.0. There was the heat, and then there was my constant complaining about the heat here in Arizona during the summer. Two problems. What would life have been like if I didn't have that going on every day of the summer? Well, let me tell you, I've been able to see the mountains in ways that I couldn't see before because I didn't have all this chatter about how hot it was. I was able to like notice people, see them clearly because again, I didn't have this nonstop voice in my head going off about how hot it is, and that being the only thing that I would talk to people about. People say, "Hi, Keith, how you doing?" I'm like, "It's hot out here. You kidding me? Like, really? What are we doing with this heat? Like, I think it's hotter than last year." That's the only conversation I can talk about. So when my mind was free of that and not bothering me, I had the capacity for a lot more. And you might find the same thing. One of my close friends, some of my close friends, their children are areas in which they see that need improving, like all the time. And so, what if their mind wasn't bothering them about improving their children? Like, what would that be like? They'd be able to appreciate their children in ways that they may barely appreciate them now, but this would expand the capacity to really appreciate them. They can still work on guiding the child to make better choices, to in a direction that is of interest to the child that helps them to continue to develop into a contributing human being. They can still do that, but without all this other stuff of needing to improve them that's causing them suffering. That could be free of. They could be free of that. The same thing that goes with coworkers, right? What if your mind didn't bother you about staffing? Didn't bother you about the coworker who you are scheduled to work with today on a case or a project? What would life be like with that? Or if you are have a close friend who is works with me at the hospital, and I remember her telling me a couple of weeks ago we ran into each other, and she just got back from a vacation. She is so like incredibly kind and thoughtful, and just a great leader. She's an amazing leader, and I've been fortunate to work with her. And when she got back, I was like, "How's everything going?" She's like, "Oh, my mother, has getting some tests. She's not doing really well, and so we don't know what it is. It could be, cancer. We're not sure." And she said, "But you know what, Keith? I'm not going to worry about it. We'll wait until the tests come in, and then we'll take action." And this was a couple of weeks ago, and she sent the text today. And the text today that she sent was that the test came back clear and her mother is fine. Now, between now and the previous 2 weeks, her children have started to go to the next grade, one into middle school for the first time, another into high school as a freshman. All these things have happened that because her mind was free of not worrying about what the test results were going to say about her mom, because there's nothing she could do about it. She just had to wait. But instead of those ruminations of worrying about it, she was free of that. And so she's able to be really present for these first in her children's lives. Wow, that's what life could be like, right? It could be like that all the time. We are experiencing a time in the United States in which there's so many things that are going on politically, economically, and socially. And you could choose to have your mind bother you about it. And you can like amplify your mind's nonstop chatter by watching the news too. Like you can do all of that and ask yourself that the last month that you've done that, has it made a difference in like your experience of life or your experience of the world? Has that you listening to it helped the country? Like, I'm not saying don't be informed, but be informed in a way that your mind doesn't bother you about it. And how do you know that it's bothering you? That can you take action with that information in this moment? No, you can't. I don't think today in Arizona is election day. It's a Thursday. I don't think so. So there's no action to take. So you stop bothering yourself with this nonstop chatter all the time. Like you let all of that go. And then what you'll find is you'll find one of the things that I appreciate more with more and more every day, inner peace. Oh, it's beautiful because it makes way for love and joy and connection and just all these amazing experiences that a human being can have. So I ask you, what would it be like if your mind wasn't bothering you with anxious thoughts, depressive thoughts, obsessive thinking? What would life be like? Sweet. It is so sweet. I hope you will join me.